This podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you'll like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best scam AD&D second edition podcast ever.
Somebody throw him some raw meat, okay? Hiya, folks. THACO's Hammer number 59. I'm DM Glen, and we've got DM Brian over here, barely holding back full-on gamer. Say hi, guys.
It's not easy trying to restrain someone who is trained in combat arts, let me tell you.
Full on?
Me like it a half over another giant can. Let's go smash something.
Yeah.
Hey, Gamer Nation, how you doing?
I expect him to say beat.
Yeah, expect him to go all Kowalski on us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, let's get into hits and crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque Louis Paradise. Miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and crits.
Hi, we're in hits and crits. What did we do this week? Guys, Brian, tell me what you've been doing.
Okay, well, I finally, after much procrastination and things like that, I finally got session 3 of Hammers of the Duchy up.
No.
Yes, finally.
Very good.
After, let's see, we did that one in late October. Yeah, 3 months to the day.
Uh-huh.
Or not even, almost 4 months to the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's up at, let's see, what is it called? It's called podbean.com/darkerdave/DM Brian's AP podcast. I believe it's something like that.
And when's number 4 coming up? Because we've done that.
I just started it last night.
And that's the one where Corey enters the picture.
Yes, enter DM Corey. Yeah, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, we have a full retinue of players. I hope this is something that continues. Yep. Because it's sort of less pressure on me as a DM to keep you guys alive. Oh, did I say that?
Oh, poor baby.
I don't need to stay alive. I have a mage as a backup character.
That's what I'm afraid of.
And you know who else?
I'm afraid of that gnome illusionist. I really am.
And isn't Allie the one who has the Wemmick as a backup?
No. No. Don't remind me of that. Anyway.
I won't. How about you?
Yeah.
What's up?
I was able to get a little bit of some board gaming in. Got to do a little bit of some good card gaming with Edition Wars and a wonderful several hours deep session of some Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Good. You know, if you come to North Texas, you're going to have to play some Edition Wars.
Oh, yeah. It sticks in the pocket very easily. It'll be available for all the time that I'm waiting for people to get off their other games and come join the mountain.
Is that
I knew that was coming.
Have they put that up for sale yet, or is it still in development, or what?
Oh, yes, it's up for sale. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They kickstarted it. It's available for sale. You can go to GamerNationStudios.com or you can go to theeditionwars.com and find details on it and where it can be ordered, either as individual sales for you, the individual buyer, or if you're a game store, friendly local game store owners, you have bulk discounts options available for you for the display cases.
Have they empowered? Do you think they empower like you or somebody else to like maybe sell at the convention at North Texas?
That would be interesting.
They could probably do it because they are in Dallas.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and they may have some sets left that didn't sell at Gen Con, so I'm sure they could find a market for them. If they don't sell them all out at the next ReaperCon.
Yeah, I was going to say, Reaper's based out of Dallas, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Vince's favorite convention.
Well, hey, if I lived in Texas I'd probably be going to ReaperCon too. I love Reaper.
If I could get away with it, I'd go to a lot more cons. That'd probably be one of them.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What have I been doing? Well, I just I contributed to the funding of the Tunnels and Trolls Deluxe Kickstarter.
Uh-huh.
And I got into the $28 level, which means I'm going to have a soft copy in my hot little hands soon, which is what I wanted. And any of the other various and sundry goodies that come along with that.
Right.
Let's see, what else? I've got a whole bunch of things coming in the mail. Like, I'm still waiting for my Gygax #1. Either the comp copy or the subscription. I don't care which one at this point. And we had a real interesting basic D&D game. Saturday, yeah. The continuing saga of Brad's characters dying continues.
Welcome to the continuing story of a quack whose dice have gone to the dogs.
Well, looks like his, I believe, I can't remember what he was playing, a thief, hobbit, or something, or halfling, or something like that. But anyway, he had for some reason, he took a potion of water breathing. And I think we were anticipating going into some deep, dark, like, wet place. And he took the potion of water breathing or something, and he found out it lasted for 24 hours. And so we went in this one we're in a cave. We're in a dragon's cave. And we found this one cavern with a pool in it that had a waterfall falling down into it. It's like, for some reason, we thought of finding out what's in the pool. We threw rocks in there, nothing came up. It's okay, it seems safe. And he goes, hey, I've got a push of water breathing going. Why don't I just walk down there?
Okay.
And he does, and gets eaten by a giant catfish.
They usually don't chew their food. It just means he was swallowed by a giant catfish, which halflings are wont to do. So that's no big deal. Just cut your way out of your party's new dinner.
And then Brian said, well, he just like, when the zombies or whatever the hell is down there, like we fought a lot of troglodytes. He says when they fall down there, he just waits for people to fall down off the waterfall and just eats whatever's left.
That's funny.
And it's like he just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it was all Jaws. Boom,
Wow.
And we left it by finding the dragon's hoard.
That doesn't mean he's dead. Who said he was dead?
He could be undead, but he'd have to...
No, I mean, seriously. He's in a fish, underwater, with a potion of water breathing on.
Well,
unless he's starting to take acid damage and is getting digested... He should be good to go.
I think at this point, it's just the fact that he got swallowed by a giant catfish and just, game over. It's sort of like the old Dragon Lair cartoon.
Yeah.
If Brad did this happened, and you see him walking into the pool and getting
in Night Below, our halfling got swallowed by the friggin' frogs that are in the stream between Thurmaster and Hardcastle.
Boy, I get it.
Yeah, but he's moved on and since created his brother.
So how many characters?
Small, delectable, and juicy. Okay.
How many characters is this now? Is this number 4?
This will be number 8.
Oh my God!
Since he said they started this campaign in 2E, and then after running train of events where they got all TPK'd by the Lamia. He went over.
Oh, yeah, that's your
He said,
thing.
since we started at 2E, that'd be 8.
Holy crap. I'm wondering if the DM's just not just, keeping a nice little tally on a little whiteboard right next to a screen or something. Holy God.
It gets better. We ended the session by finding the dragon's hoard.
But no dragon?
But no dragon. More stuff that we never know what to do with. And it's like, oh my God, where's the dragon?
Nope. Loot. It's time to loot and scoot.
No, there's no loot and scoot because the dragon knows we're here. He says he's not here right now. He's somewhere else in the dungeon. So he says, you guys got 2 weeks to formulate a plan.
2 weeks?
Yeah, well, we play in 2 weeks. We play every other...
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought that meant game time.
And it's like, no, not 2 weeks, but he says what we're going to do is fall back to to another room and start planning like crazy. He said, I'm not going to pull any punches on this dragon. I said, do you ever? But it's one of those, if you do it smart, you will survive.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking a green dragon here.
Okay.
So we're talking gas attack.
Yep.
And apparently he says, if we can avoid that breath attack, we could probably survive this.
Right.
So I basically said, Gage, Gage wasn't with me. He says, you're coming next time.
We need numbers. We
need all hands on deck for this one. We need to get it out. And, we've got this. I'm an elf. We've got a magic, 2 elves in the party. We've got fireballs. We've got a priest who has bless. We've got this. We got all our resources, put it in a pool and see what we can do.
Yep, go all hog.
And I
spare nothing.
And I said, since the dragon isn't there, I wouldn't be adverse to setting traps in the lair and finding that oil that burns and lacing it here so we can hit it with the fire and all this other stuff and put Burmese tiger traps. I don't care.
It's time to go balls to the wall pretty much.
Basically, let's get we're the Expendables. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where he left it. And now we're Facebooking. Okay, we do this.
That's just funny.
I could hardly wait until 2 weeks.
Oh, I remember those days.
And I just ordered a copy of the Dungeon board game on the web, and that should be coming the end of the week. Because I've got Gage who plays D&D, but Gavin, who's 6, and I don't think is quite ready for D&D.
I agree.
He could be. I've heard people start at 6, but the maturity level isn't quite there yet.
No, not yet. I'd probably say somewhere around 9 or 10. Well, Gage's age.
People do it at 6, but they're probably really mature 6s.
Either that or they just go complete silly.
But the dungeon game is a great way for him to play a game like D&D.
Well, it's like I told you, it's the gateway drug.
Right.
That's how you get him in.
Right.
It's like, if you like that, you'll really like this.
I'm just sorry I didn't go to eBay and find a used copy because I ordered the new one from WotC.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's anything like 4E, I'm not going to have very much fun with this.
Well, let's reserve judgment to when you get it and mess around
where I have stuff like Ascending Armor Class and all that foolishness in 4E. I'm not going to have fun. What?
You're coming close to our no edition bashing rule. You're coming close to that line, Glenn.
Well, I'm going to step on that damn line right now. This is my grandson.
Do a nice little soft shoe on that line.
This is my grandsons we're talking about here.
Yeah, I get it.
Got to teach them right.
Spoken like a true grandfather.
Yeah. Like I said, they commit.
Hey, Ascending Armor Class was a great Palladium invention. I had a great time playing with it.
Oh,
that's true. You know what? He's right.
I mean, I do basic fantasy artwork for Corey now. It's like, I never play this game. Why? They do Ascending Armor Class. I can hand.
Are you really that against it?
Yeah, I am.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's too much. You wouldn't believe the lengths I go to stay lazy.
I know. You spend more energy on being lazy than actually getting what you need done. I know.
Converting that is just too much of a pain.
I get it. I understand.
That's why my grandsons used to watch Lazy Town.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad guy, Robbie Rotten, it's been noted, and I noticed it right away. He says, he wants everybody in Lazy Town to be lazy so they quit bothering him. He's the most active person in the town. Trying to keep people from not being active.
That's funny. That's just very funny.
Yeah.
I get the message that they're trying to send, but it's just wacky.
Yeah.
It's just completely wacky.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
all right.
What we're doing. Let's do some emails. We got voicemails.
Okay.
What do we got?
Yeah, we've got 2 voicemails, and 1 rather long written mail. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do the voicemails.
There it is. Like he said, folks, lazy. Anyway, okay, give me one moment to get set up here. This one's from, of course, DM Kojo, who, by the way, I've been in conversation with him on, I believe, OSR Gaming in private messaging, and he's, he's amenable to coming onto the show. It's just a matter of, scheduling now.
Okay.
He doesn't think that he has a lot to contribute. I'm like, dude. You've been emailing our show since almost the beginning, and really good emails most of the time.
Yeah, think of it this way. You're saving bandwidth.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so give me a moment to get set up, and we'll get this started.
All right.
Hey guys, this is DM Kojo, and I'm calling with yet another question for you guys on THACO's Hammer. This one is about adopting some D&D Next rules into my 2E campaign. This is something I've already done. After doing the D&D Next playtest a couple times with some of my players, we decided a couple things we really enjoyed was the rule for advantage, disadvantage, and rolling 2 dice instead of 1 and taking the best or worst depending on the case. And the other being casting certain spells as rituals, which take longer and take more material components. We like this because it's very good for the utility spells that nobody ever wants to memorize. And if you're not going to do some kind of house rule free casting option, then this is a way to get those in. I personally don't make my players use material components normally for their spells, but for rituals I do. So it adds that element as well of needing the materials ahead of time. And that way you don't have to wait a day for somebody to memorize Identify or read languages or detect magic or any other spell that nobody ever wants to bother with before you can use it. So anyways, just want to get your thoughts on those 2 rules in particular and in general adopting rules from other versions of the game. Keep up the great work. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Kojo.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Well, consider your invitation to our show officially withdrawn. No, I'm just kidding.
As far as your group goes, wimps. Anyway,
now come on, Glenn.
Just in a mood today. I don't what?
You were just in a mood today.
I don't want to be like, oh, come on.
Okay. Getting to his actual point,
yes.
I use a couple of rules from a couple different editions, some, basic rules from way back when I first started and going all the way up to 3E. I haven't messed around with Next at all because I really have no interest in it. But aside from that, the advantage-disadvantage rule is interesting. I don't know why it hasn't been thought of before for this game, rather than the taking, severe phobia to spiders in order to get some extra character points, on the other end. But, whatever works for your game is good. It doesn't matter what system you take it from. If it works for you and everybody in your gaming group likes it, then, it's all good as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Yeah, it's, the bottom line, yeah, it is all good. I got my personal peccadillos, and we all do. But, whining aside, yeah, whatever you can, if some stuff from other games, D&D or whatever you can use, go for it if your group likes it and it makes the game run easier.
Mm-hmm. Fall on?
Well, yeah, carrying stuff over system to system is a craft. It helps you understand your system better and other systems better, and it has useful bits. There are things that other systems got right that work for your game. If they do, take them. I do it all the time.
Yep.
That's right.
Good on you.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you think makes your game better and whatever your players, if they enjoy it, then you're doing something good, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, if you want to kick them in the love bells, so that makes your game better, then...
I wouldn't understand how, but I take your point.
Yeah, true. Well, make your game better. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for writing, Coach.
Yeah. Thanks. And just to make sure, the invitation still stands. Just whenever you can, hook up with us, it's all good.
So this is the part I cut out, right? No.
Aw, why you gotta pick on Kojo?
Oh,
it's harmless.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet when he gets on the show. Anyway, we got another one?
Yeah. All right. Let's just delve into this. I'm warning everyone now. This is a fairly lengthy email.
Now, wait a minute. Don't we have another voicemail?
Yes, we do. I was going to just put this in between it, just so that we get it out of the way.
Like an Oreo. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a reverse Oreo. Yeah. Good stuff with the not so good in the middle. Okay, if you give me a moment, I'm going to take a sip of my lemonade.
Okay. Can I go change my suit and come back? Take a shower, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is from Brandon Bowe, first time emailer to the show, as far as I know. So he says, "Hail, THACO's Hammer podcasters! I would like to." Hi. Relax, Glenn. It's not that bad.
Come on, respond with motivation. Hail and welcome, THACO's Hammerer.
Yeah, Glenn, you're an actor. We shouldn't have to be doing this. Anyway.
That's how I greet people.
Hey, I'm on break. Go talk to my shop foreman.
Oh, okay. I would like to start with my sincere thanks in all that you do, bringing the second edition of Dungeons & Dragons to mobile devices everywhere.
We do our best.
Yeah, we do our best, exactly. I listen to your podcast usually during prep time before games, running Greyhawk Ruins right now,
wow.
or when driving between Central and Western Washington over Snoqualmie Pass. Wow. I know a little bit about that road. I look forward to each podcast, and especially like hearing how each of you deal with common in-game occurrences. You guys keep the genre alive and put a lot of work into the podcast.
If you only
okay, that was the pat on the back. Here comes the kick in the ass.
If you only knew.
Okay, he continues. I was excited to hear your Dark Sun review, as Dark Sun is my favorite setting from the TSR setting binge of the 1990s.
Folks, I can see where this is going, right?
Yes, yeah. I have to say, however, that I was somewhat underwhelmed by your review. After listening to the review, it seems as if Athos is a 2D world, a tired rehash of post-apocalyptic Earth, or another imagining of Dune. If I had never played Dark Sun and was perhaps looking to branch out after listening to the lackluster review, I would probably pass. What is so cool about Athos is not that it is a tired post-20th century apocalyptic world, rather it is a post-medieval apocalyptic world. You also have a setting that actually incorporates psionics without feeling like a tacked-on afterthought. That part I might agree with. But, okay, we continue.
Yeah.
We continue. I feel that you should have taken more time to discuss the most important part of Dark Sun, or any RPG setting for that matter, the mythology. The mythology of Athos is what makes it so interesting. You have a completely new spin on an apocalyptic world. Think of it this way. What if Sauron had won? What if unbridled magic power and exploitation had conquered Middle-earth? What would be the consequences of that? And there goes my phone. My apologies.
It would be Eberron, because Tolkien told you that it would be, you get to see it. If you watch Wizards, they build things as opposed to just fry the thing down to a desertscape.
Point for full on. Let's see. Another way to look at it is the de-evolution from enlightenment and purity to ignorance, genocide, and environmental destruction. When you look at the history of the mythology, you have halflings as the sole inhabitants of Athos in harmony with nature. Eventually, the desire to control nature takes hold and corrupts, causing genetic mutation and environmental change to occur. New races spawn forth in Athos, covered in greenery, become becomes another Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms. Eventually, a higher order humanoid, the Pyrene, start to develop arcane magic. This magic, due to Atlas being in its own universe, something I've never agreed with, by the way, does not take from the Weave or from the gods, rather life force itself is drained to power the spells. Imagine a Sauron-type creator of magic so self-despising that he ultimately wants to eradicate all races except the halflings to bring Athos back to quote-unquote purity. We can see modern 20th century themes occurring here. That's the other reason I don't like Dark Sun too much. There's too much of that kind of lesson teaching in the background,
Social conscious type of stuff.
Exactly.
Well, what basically is being said here is, okay, we have reached out and found the market share and fan base that Dark Sun was created for, and your opinion is respected and welcomed. It just didn't happen to be enough of the rest of D&D's market share to survive.
That's correct. Dark Sun didn't do all that great, just in sales things, because, my personal feeling about it is that it was, it's like I said during the review, I understand what they were going for. I just think they just, brought a howitzer to a knife fight, so to speak. They kind of overdid it. But, okay, let me go on to a second point, because he goes on about histories and things like that. That brings me to my second point, which is a glaring omission on your part: dragons. Dragons are an integral part of Atlas, but instead of being eponymous lizards with dubious beginnings, okay, they're at the absolute pinnacle of evolution, the perfect marriage of arcane magic and psionics. They are what happens as humanity starts to evolve further. The Dragon of Tears is the most powerful creature known on the face of Athos, and few know that he was once a mortal humanoid. It makes perfect sense that those who are smart enough and powerful enough would eventually evolve, and what this evolution would look like. It's an entirely new spin on dragons, and is central to the Dark Sun themes of evolution, mutation, destruction, and corruption. Okay.
And guns
I believe we called them the Dragon Kings, that were the godlike entities that everything was reaching out and trying to grow up to, right? Yeah.
Right.
We covered that-ish. Yeah. We didn't go into that particular spin on the detail of it, but yeah, okay. That is one of the things about the warp and the weave of Athos is you either suck up what's left of the warp and weave, or you morph yourself and try to become the only thing that can live here. Not a furchin or a halfling, but a dragon. Mm-hmm. Psionic godlike power where you can make reality your will, because obviously reality in Athos sucks. You want to make it your will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. To continue, knowing and exploring some of these themes are what makes Athos such an endearing place to adventure. I disagree. There are actually planet-wide atrocities that have occurred and are still occurring that are ruining the planet. The elves have been cast out in Roman tribes seeking that which will unite them again. The halflings have devolved from lovers of nature to savage cannibals. That's one of the more fun aspects of it, actually. The enlightened Pyrene have all but disappeared or removed themselves from the affairs of the planet, and the tyrannical sorcerer kings are slowly transforming themselves into the most powerful and corrupting forces on Athos. Arcane magic isn't only discouraged, it is punishable by death, and mutation and evolution have led to psionics being part of most of everyone's existence.
Which I find interesting, because the Dragon Kings are coming down so hard on people doing magic. In my opinion, with good reason. Look at the world.
Yeah.
That they don't realize that you can't stop this kind of thing, because psionics, another type of magic, if you look at it that way, is on the rise, and they can't stop it.
Well, to me, it's sort of like the Emperor Palpatine thing. It's that he is in power, he is in charge of this huge empire, and he wants to make sure that no one else who uses the Force rises up to depose him.
Right.
Which is why he either destroys what he can't corrupt, or he corrupts. That was his modus operandi. I keep
thinking of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Nature will find a way.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that Dark Sun is set up, I think that Brandon, with all due respect, I think you're a little too close to the subject to be objective about it. but the whole way this is set up is that the Sorcerer Kings themselves, even though that's what they're doing, they are set up for the heroes to come along and depose. That's what the Prison Pentad was about, or at least the first 3 books or so. It's either 3 or 4. Because they end up destroying the Dragon King of Tyr. And that's like one of the goals. In the end, if you survive long enough and you become powerful enough, your main goal, you'll find out should you choose to accept it, or whether it's thrust upon you, is to try to restore Athos to at least a semblance of what it was. They even have an adventure supplement detailing that. Detailing all the events of the Prison Pentad and how PCs can come along and help that along. That's a little bit of Dragonlance, peeking in through there, because that was kind of the same thing.
Heresy.
Yeah, but just a Dragonlance.
Suffering from the exact same plot problem then. Interesting to read, bad to play.
Yeah, that's my personal take on it.
Okay.
He goes. I've only got a couple more. Yeah, he's got a couple more. Let's see. I feel that your review was mainly focused on the realities of dealing with trying to stay alive while adventuring outside the city-states. The way that the rules of this set are constructed, that is supposed to be priority 1 of the heroes, is to stay alive, is to find water, to find superior weapons, to be able to defend themselves from the nastiness that exists in between the city-states, never mind the city-states themselves, but I digress. Most adventurers have no business being outside the cities unless they're on a caravan or in a slave capacity. Once characters are higher level, they will have the resources to travel with the supplies they need, so I think you overemphasize the exposure lethality of the setting. No, I did not. No, I did not. You're probably more likely to be executed by a Templar for lack of respect or reverence than be killed by exposure in the early levels. Okay, now we're talking...
Which is a hit on the system in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Hi, how you doing? Oh, stone him. Why? Because he greeted me poorly. Stone him. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That goes back into the, problems that people had with games like, let's see, Space Opera, where you can die in character creation.
Traveler. Yeah.
The setting needs to be conducive to play. Now, if that conducive to play means that you're going to spend almost all of your play in cities, that means that you're having a city adventure with a big, horrible desert surrounding you, which is doable and can be okay for a while. But you turn back into, you just basically replace all the sand with mists, and what do you just create?
Ravenloft.
Little pockets of survivable places that are horrible in their own right, and a really, really desolate interim in between that really doesn't matter, unless you're going to just go into it for its own sake.
Yeah. And at this point, that comes down to DM style, because that's also part of the harshness of this world, is the fact that if you're caught doing any sort of magic, that's an automatic death sentence. Now, I understand that part of it, but it's also up to the DM to not put the player in a position to where if he's forced to use his magic, he gets killed because of it. That's not exactly fair. That's just my take on it.
I got a question.
That's like all those Game-Based 7 Star Wars DM plots where, you're going to play Star Wars, you're going to play in this tournament, you're using the Force because your character that you were handed as a pre-gen was a Force user? Oh, well, let's see. In about 20 minutes into this campaign, you're going to have Darth Vader and all the, Inquisitors showing up and crush the life out of you because everybody knows that nobody survived the Purge, so you get to not survive the Purge.
Well, that's BS, and we both know that full on.
I forgot my question. Here's a question. Okay. Magic is done in secret or not at all.
Yeah.
On pain of death. Everybody knows they're psionic.
Mm-hmm.
So what if there's somebody's using psionic power that looks like a spell?
Well, that all depends because, I think...
There's a rather evident effect differing psionics and magic. Magic in the Athos world, the way it's tied in, literally, the only way for it to work is to suck the life out of something. Mm-hmm. To be a defiler. To transmute the life of something else, whether it's the Earth and the planet of Athos itself, or to take the life out of another thing to kill something else in the process of your casting, or to suck out life points, or basically it's all blood magic.
Okay.
Or being a preserver where you are taking enough to achieve what you want, but not just completely destroying the environment around you in order to, cast the spell. But I digress.
Does he have any more?
Yeah, just a little more.
Go ahead.
He's giving us another pat on the back, actually. I like the factual parts of the Dark Sun review and love the segment on the Kira. You also explored the Complete Gladiator's Handbook, which is a must-have if you wish to play a campaign with the city-states. I hope you give Dark Sun another look after exploring the mythology and its new take on a post-medieval era apocalyptic world. Dark Sun, coupled with Brahms' art, is one of the most interesting and well thought out settings from the setting float of the 1990s. And I've run my Dark Sun campaign 4 times now over the last 18 years for 4 different groups, even once in 4th edition. Which ironically is one of the great things WotC did with 4E rebooting Dark Sun, so all the Sorcerer Kings weren't dead as happened in the books in the 2nd edition box set for TSR. Once again, I thank you for your podcast and keeping the QE spirit alive. I am stoked for the premium reprints to be released in hardcover. I am stoked that the PDFs will be digitally released from WotC Online. I need a new Greyhawk Ruins as mine is worn and torn from use. You need to do an in-depth on Greyhawk Ruins, by the way. Thanks again for reading this email, and I hope you look at Dark Sun in a new light. Keep up the good work. THACO lives. Very respectfully, DM Warrant.
Thank you, Warrant. I got 2 questions. One, full on, what are you knocking Eberron by comparing it to Dark Sun?
I wasn't knocking Eberron. I was saying that that's one of the things that happens. Things that'll happen when the rebuild, restructure of where do you go if you let magic go crazy, well, you end up with magic as industry.
Okay, got it. I understand now.
And, the artwork thing is wonderful, yeah, but I could just as easily say, well, I prefer the artwork of Bisley, and I'm going to borrow all of my Dark Sun plot hooks from all my whole old heavy metal magazines.
Hey,
where they have those desert apocalypse empire areas all over the place that are awesome and will fit just perfectly in the setting.
If you could find a compilation of all the Den comic books, you'd have enough plots to last a while.
Den, Heavy Metal 2000, the various Lochnar episodes.
Anyway, my second question was...
Give me back my Lochnar, you bitch! Anyway, sorry. That had to be said.
Anyway, here's another question. Everybody has psionics. Does that include undead?
That's a good question.
The smart one.
Well,
yeah, I think, yeah.
But what I'm thinking of, if it does include undead, that would make a zombie apocalypse on Athos very interesting.
That's an interesting idea.
Not
you know what?
Zombie apocalypses, but I just find that fascinating, that's all.
Mm-hmm. No. Well, let's just put it this way. I think you kind of damaged the internet for a couple seconds by mentioning those 2 words.
What, psionics and zombie apocalypse?
No, zombie apocalypse, just those 2 words.
What, that's a meme that rolls over every 23 picoseconds.
No kidding. you couldn't be more right about that.
But
we aren't, as I said before, we appreciate your fervence and appeal for the Dark Sun setting. We didn't happen to share it entirely, but we were trying to present a fair offering to it, understanding that it was really kind of a niche market of D&D that had its niche. You were obviously squarely in the center of it, and I hope you had fun while you were there. Mm-hmm. And can have fun in the future.
And like Fox News, we were trying to be fair and bloated.
Fair and balanced.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a psionic zombie apocalypse would be real tough on the players.
Wow. You think?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I could see like a Resident Evil type of thing going on without the technology. Sure.
Okay.
But anyway,
Get psionic zombies by serving Hypnotoad.
God.
Wow.
Anyway.
Okay. And we have a
voicemail. Go ahead.
Yes. This is from our other constant contributor, Travis Harmbringer Nicholson.
Hi, Travis.
Hello, Travis. And if you give me a moment, I will get set up to do this.
Hey, all salutations. This would be Travis Harmbringer Nicholson calling with another question. Council of the Worm. It's a supplement where you get to play as dragons. You get to run around the dragon realm, as it were, in their high, lofty city of dragons where everybody is represented. What level would you start a player campaign for this? How many years experience do you think all the players should have before they tackle said adventure, for the sheer fact that we all know that dragons are complicated and overpowered to a certain extent, depending on what breed, color, metal dragon it would be. Love the input. As always, keep the dice on the table.
Thank you, Travis. What setting did he? I didn't catch it.
Council of Worms.
Oh, that thing. Jumping from one indifferent campaign world to another.
All indifferent to you. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, now Council of Worms I've only used peripherally, mostly because I had a power gamer player for a brief period of time who wanted to try and, game the system, and I said, okay, we're going to use Council of Worms, and you're going to either be this or this. You can't be both. In such a game, it kind of behooves the DM and the players to be pretty experienced, even though it could probably go in a completely different direction if they wanted it to. I probably start at like 4th level, maybe 3rd or 4th. And even then, the dragon and half-dragon characters are fairly powerful in their own right, from that point. So, but again, this is a completely different style of play, apart from the others. Let's assemble 6 people, then we'll go out and we'll go and see why the orcs are, raiding this town or whatever. This is completely different. Now you're involved with heavy role-playing, politics, and things of that nature. So it would kind of behoove everyone to be pretty experienced in playing D&D and not just, rolling dice all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I always found the Council of Worms setting to be one of the things that strikes me as, if you're going to play that, you're going to essentially be picking up one of a couple of very unique play styles. One is kind of simple. Think Dragon Riders of Pern. Okay? The party are dragon riders. You are partners of these dragons. You are not the boss of the dragons. And yes, you are basically their remote control object that goes into the small places they can't reach.
I like that.
The other option being you're going to play as dragons. Another way to approach that is if you've ever seen the wonderful little animated movie Flight of Dragons. How to deal with being a dragon. It's a fun way to deal with things. It's good for a one-off or maybe a little short campaign. It's, power gamers unite, yes, but you also still have to deal with whatever's going on, and you can still have a good wilderness-type adventure, not just the politics of the Dragon Council and all that, going around dealing with your little pet minion, whatever you have as a rider or whatnot, and if any, and just dealing with the other dragons on equal footing and terms, as equal as one category age of dragon gets with another.
That's true.
You could do it at any kind of level of starting, whether it's first level up for dragons, first level up for half dragons, first level up for humans. I would not recommend mixing so much a blend of party together, unless they were very experienced and used to working together in concert like that. Mm-hmm. You could make a very effective team that way, with some members being riders, some members being dragons, some members being half dragons, or whatever the mix has in the play. But generally you'll end up with some people not able to partake in the rest of the adventure. You either have to have a willingness to split the party, a commitment to keep everything out in the open where everyone can get at it, or an ability to simultaneously deal with different locales and switch rapidly enough between them that keeps everybody interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll agree with that. That's also a good alternate. I didn't think of the Dragon Riders of Pern idea. That's actually I'd actually be interested in doing something like that, except they wouldn't be fighting Thread. They'd be
look at some of the things they had going on. They had, before they were all united, they had multiple instances of a little light dragon war going on. If you read all of the novels, they had a little bit of struggle with the non-Dragon Rider colonies and holds. Mm-hmm. Okay, between the Harper holds and the Crafter holds, they had their own issues. There was the rebellions, there was the plagues, there was the politics that got, in the way of the actual business, especially in between the thread falls, especially during the long breaks between threadfall.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I think, and may Anne McCaffrey rest in peace, but her grandson cannot hold a candle to her. I'm sorry, his stuff is just a little too brutal for my taste, and I will not digress further.
She's dead?
Yeah, she's been gone for about 2 years now, I think.
Shut up, Glenn, bite your tongue. Okay, I have nothing to say.
Okay. I kind of figured that Fallout and I would do the heavy lifting on that one.
No, it's not that. It's just like I say something, I'm opening up a can of worms.
Like what?
Can they be dragon worms?
No, I'm going to go off on a rant about how I don't care for dragons as mystical creatures that shouldn't be too involved in D&D, even though the dragon has his name in there, and they are monsters, they are something to fight. Yes, they have personality and stuff like that, but I could care less about knowing the ecology and the likes and thinking dragons are, mystical. Ooh, they can run stuff. Ooh, a council of worms. So I've said too much already, so I'm going to...
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
You can also always draw from some of the other things that have dealt with the far more feral dragon approach, like the Pit Dragon Fighter books, where you don't necessarily have to have smart, psionically aware, magical empowered dragons. They're just big-ass lizards that someone has the ability to bond with and direct into battle.
Well, because this kind of pushes the game into the, estrogen-fueled, they're mystical creatures of the wild, and all, unicorns and rainbows and all this kind of, we love them, and all this says, God, I'm going to go into diabetic shock. I'm sorry.
When did you ever get that from anyone? I want to know. My
first ex-wife, okay?
Oh, well, now we understand.
All right.
Now we understand where this rage is coming from.
Like I said,
that's okay. I'm willing to still play Reign of Fire, so you can have that for your dragon approach as well. In your dragon council of humans are to be obliterated at all costs. Here, survive, go. Oh wait, we're back in office.
Okay. Well, I warned you, can of worms. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to know where that came from, because that started out in a certain area and went completely out the other way.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's the way. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Because I didn't. I mean, I could. This podcast will get another hour longer if I keep going.
I know. I'm trying.
Look at it this way. Okay. The caller has a request for us to do a specific detail show on the Dragon Council of Worms setting. There's a pin in it. It'll show up eventually in more detail and more depth coverage.
It is in the show notes.
We will get to that eventually. It's just...
you just have to disassociate your ex-wife.
So enjoy your preview today.
It's not only that.
It's okay.
She started something that I really don't want to deal with anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Breathe. Let's. We're done with our emails. Let's move on.
Them unicorns. No, I'm not gonna go.
Come on, Glenn. Breathe.
I'm breathing from my diaphragm, and it's hard because I'm a guy.
You know how I dealt with the last unicorn that showed up in my campaign?
What?
With our next subject. It was being roasted on a spit by some hill giants.
Yum.
Wow. And
Already found that.
There we go. There's our segue.
Almost. Send us your emails at thacoshammer@gmail.com. And the number?
405-806-0555.
All right, now we can go into people skills.
The face is familiar.
It's mine.
And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
A little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
Don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills.
People skills, damn friggin'. Oh, yeah, we're doing something else now. Okay.
Yeah.
Giant Kin. As PCs from the Complete Book of Humanoids.
Correct.
We're talking about, there's a couple, what was it, Vodkin and...
Furblogs.
Furblogs. Plus ogres and half-ogres.
Correct.
Giant relatives.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we did the Ogre Mage several episodes ago, and since I had this idea to do like a giant themed show, this only seemed to fit right in with what I was trying to go with.
Yeah, what he said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I said. Okay, and like we said, you got the Furblogs, you got the Vodkin, and the Ogres and half-ogres. So let's start with the smallest and work our way up, shall we?
Ogres.
Yes. Well, half-ogres first. They're the smallest.
Yeah, okay, well, they are. They're quite playable. They were quite playable in first edition.
Yep.
I played that.
They even showed up in Dragon Magazine as the whole half-ogre, which was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Where do you think I got my half-ogre in the first edition?
I have a half-ogre character somewhere. I think I patterned it after that character in the Road Warrior where he's always trying to kill Mel Gibson, and he ends up getting completely screwed up, but he doesn't die until the very end.
Right.
But yeah, I think they actually called him Ogre. I'm not sure.
Right.
But yeah.
So that guy's in Revenge of the Nerds.
Well, okay. Well, that guy. No, not that guy, but never mind. Just never mind. I'm getting confused now.
Okay.
Half-ogres.
Half-ogres.
Mm-hmm.
Half-human, half-ogre. Or could it be like... No.
Half something.
No.
I always tried to introduce a half-ogre whose other half was Kinder, but no one wanted to hear that story.
No. No, I don't want to know that story either.
Half Tinker Gnome, half-ogre? There you go.
Oh, boy. Anyway, let's get off that.
Now, it's interesting. It says ogres tend towards chaotic evil. I understand. But half-ogres tend toward chaotic neutral, so they're all crazy.
Well, yeah, if you think of chaotic neutrals that way. But
PC ogres and half-ogres may be of any alignment.
I know. You got to put that out there if you're dealing with PC races.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the let's see. Half-ogres, let's see. Minimum strength 14, max 18. Dex only goes up to 12, believe it or not.
Wow.
They are not quick. They're not quick at all, but they can take a lot of damage.
12 is quick-ish. You can have quick with 12.
12 is painfully average. Intelligence and wisdom at 12, charisma of 8. So they usually be ugly mofos if you sought charisma into physical looks as well as personality.
And just a little side trek over to the Ogre Mage. According to this, the Ogre Mages as PCs, like the Cleric or Shaman Witch Doctor ones, can only go up to 4th level.
Correct.
That's not Ogre Mage, that's Ogre and Half-Ogre as a Shaman or Witch Doctor or Cleric.
Which is
not Ogre Mage. That's a completely different set. No, it isn't.
Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's on the page.
I would, to me, that's kind of redundant, but okay. Yeah, because as a shaman ogre mages can go up to shaman, over up to 7.
Ogres and half ogres versus ogre magi.
Okay.
Blue, not blue.
I went all best in there for a moment.
It's
Oriental, not Oriental.
It's okay.
Like
with me, I'd probably change that around because I'd probably give it 6th or 7th in cleric shaman.
Here's something else interesting. Their natural armor class for ogres is 5, but half ogres have a natural armor class of 8.
Yeah, because half ogres are only.
You'd think that'd be reversed. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
There I go. I told you that ascending armor class is going to mess with my head.
It's okay, Glen.
Anyway,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
You can edit this out if you need to. Yeah, I mean, they're born with really, ogres are born with really tough skin, and half ogres get some of that, just not all of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they have that base, and half ogres usually are anywhere from I think like 7 to 9 feet tall. Ogres start, like 8 to 10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And ogres. I mean, I'm sorry, but when we're talking ogres, we're not talking Shrek, okay?
Right.
We're just not. We're not talking some ogre who's got all kinds of issues that he needs a talking donkey. We could, but we're not going.
Yes, and you want to know what book you use for that?
What?
It's product number 2154, Player's Options, Skills, and Powers.
Oh.
Yeah, you could.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
you can have interesting half ogres that way, and you won't have that pesky problem with your class level limitations if you don't want them.
And a talking donkey.
Mm-hmm. A talking donkey with a dragon wife who make half donkey, half dragon offspring. But I digress.
Hey, if D&D can do it,
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Pixar can do it. We can do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now role playing ogre characters, mostly they're brutish and loud, and of course not very smart.
It's a perfect character for players. A lot of players.
Yeah, if they were being honest about it, maybe. And half ogres, of course, they get a little bit more of the smarts from their human parent, so they've got a bit better idea. I mean, I think we said
it might be the runt of the litter in their dealing with an ogre society, but they could very easily be the boss man in a orc community or a hobgoblin, something like that community.
That's right.
Or take over a band of thieves and highwaymen and terrorize the countryside.
And ogres and half ogres get 4 extra hit points at first level. That may not sound like much, but
that's a boost.
That is a boost.
Especially considering that, an ogre can have a 20 constitution and a half ogre can have a 19. That 4 points is on top of all that.
Oh, yeah.
So you could technically have a first level half ogre fighter with, 19 hit points to start?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's a lot.
Right.
The downside being your category is as large, and you take damage from large weapon attacks.
And you know what? A lot of people I know who play these characters, or I've seen play these characters, they somehow neglect to remember that. Anything over 7 feet is large. Yeah. Is a large size creature.
I would bump the minimum. Or the maximum on their ability scores to 9 instead of 8.
Okay.
Only because I don't believe in negative ability modifiers.
I don't have a problem with it personally.
And it's just a 1 point bump, so,
Right. Yeah, I'd probably, you know what? I would probably make, of course their intelligence would stay right where it is because ogres are not smart. They never have been. I'd probably give their max dex 10.
Yeah.
I totally get it because it's then of course you get the smart ass player. Well, if the ogre has only 8 dex, he has a -1 to his AC that gives him an AC of 6. No, it doesn't. Your adversaries don't get that. Okay, Stop looking for loopholes, son. But yeah. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised half ogres can get a Constitution max of 19.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, well, it only comes out to an extra +1 if they're a fighter. It's like +5 per hit dice.
I understand the max 20 for ogres, but it's a half ogre. That's something.
Mm-hmm. I think, that's to kind of reflect that 4+1 hit dice that the monster gets.
Right.
But, I think we talked about in a previous episode about half ogres that,
You will see 3 completely different flavors of half ogre. There's the Dragon Magazine half ogre, there's the Complete Humanoids book half ogre, and there's the Skills and Powers half ogre. Oh. And all 3 of them do have a completely different outlay of your racial mins and maxes, your stat mins and maxes. You're actually far more restricted using a player's option Skills and Powers half ogre, but you have a wider variety of character development options when you're spending your skill points on it.
So
they are limited. They don't have the 19s. They have 18s.
So it's Skills and Powers, they have them already made up?
Yes. Okay. It's one of the base races in the Chapter 3.
Okay, why don't you tell us all about it, since I don't have it open right here. I have the Humanoids book in front of me. And
they have their mins and maxes, but their maxes the maxes that they have cap at 18. You got your,
18.
They still only try to stick them directly into the 2 straight up. The classes for the half ogre is just the cleric or the fighter, so they're even more restricted.
Right.
They're still sitting there with the +1 to strength and con, -1 to intelligence and charisma, but their whole range of maxes and mins runs from the 3s for all the non-physical stats, 14s for the strength and con, maxes of 18 instead of going up into the exceptional or beyond 19 strength, and the rest of them are 12s and 8s for maxes.
Okay.
So they can still be tangibly competent. I've made a very good, half ogre rogue in the past.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him.
He's going to give you shakedown called pickpocket.
I want to see him hide in shadows.
That would be funny, actually.
There are some buildings with some very big shadows. It works.
Okay.
Rarely, though.
Who remembers to look up ever?
That's a point. He's got a point. Yeah. You never see him look up in movies. Okay. Moving on. Now the 2 giant kin. We'll start with the fur blog.
Okay.
Because that's like your favorite one, right, Glenn?
More or less.
Okay. Now these fur blogs are huge, giant-sized humanoids. I think they go from they average out 10.5 feet tall, 800 pounds or so.
They're puny as far as giants go.
No, they could take out a hill giant pretty easy. Let's see. They start, max 19 strength, 15 dex, which is fair. Con, intelligence, and wisdom, all at 18. They've always been a smart race. As a matter of fact, we covered them in an adventure, remember?
Yes, we did.
We did.
And the one with the moving trees, yes.
Yes, the one with the moving trees, exactly. And your whole thing is to try and convince them not to use fire. And they're like, we're getting our butts kicked by these trolls. We don't care anymore.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
I've got to run that sometime for somebody.
Okay.
That would be, that would make a great, if you did like a gaming double feature, like for 8 hours. that and Steelheart would make a great double feature.
Saturday afternoon double feature.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a train of events, but
No,
okay.
Steelheart, because they have the same situation of where you have to use your smarts and convince, you have to be smart to get things to work out in your favor.
Oh, I agree. Let's see. Also,
that's what I told you. I got the brims. We're going to use the smarts of the plan.
Anyway, you're saying?
They receive 13 hit points at first level. 13. So now we're talking, let's see, a first level fighter with an 18 con, 10 plus 4 plus 13. So that's 27 at first level. Of course, they take damage as large creatures, but,
First level mage who rolls a 1. I've got 14 hit points.
Yep. They're only... Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know what? If you got Furblog Shamans, they have to earn triple experience points to advance.
and Furbolg fighters have to do double.
Yeah.
Yeah, shamans have to use triple. So that's 6,000 XP per second level. 6,000.
Ouch.
Or no, I'm sorry, 45.
Aren't you glad this isn't basic, where first level clerics don't get spells?
Yeah, no kidding.
If this was basic and they did that, it's like nobody would play these things as clerics.
No, you're right about that. But, elves are hard enough to advance in basic, but I digress. Also, they're, they actually get magical powers that they can use once per day.
Uh-huh.
It's nothing massive. It's like, detect magic, diminution, which actually helps because now they can walk around as humans if they want to. Fool's Gold, Forget, and Alter Self.
Nice. Now,
the diminution and Alter Self, I could see like a Furbolg trying to screw over a human community by just using these two powers and just going to different factions and saying, this guy's saying that about you, that one's doing that over there, and stuff like that. Also, even though they put it in the disadvantages, they get a 15% magic resistance. And that's even with beneficial magic. Now, I kind of don't agree with that because it even says in the DM's guide about creatures with magical resistance, they could actually just resist. They could just take their resistance down if they want to.
Right.
That's just
I think the point of them placing it directly in these disadvantages is that they suffer basically dwarfism among giants and can't take.
Yeah, they get the reverse of dwarfism.
No, they have dwarfism among giants.
Yeah, being only 10.5 feet tall.
So being only 10.5 feet tall, the little guys in the bunch, they don't get to lower their magic resistance, they just get to endure it.
Okay, I can see that.
So their dex can only go up to 15. So much for lowering the armor class. What?
Edit that. We're trying to avoid an explicit tag. Let's keep that. Let's just take that out.
Come again. What?
He's hoping you said Dex.
I said Dex.
Oh, I'm sorry. The way you said it sounded like Dick. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Brian, edit that.
Yeah, well, Glenn can edit that if he wants to, and knowing him, he won't. Moving right along.
No, but I'm saying their natural armor class is 3.
Uh-huh.
And they can only go up to 15, which means, what's the break on lowering your armor class on Dex?
15. Okay. You get a -1. So
they
can
effectively down to 2.
Correct.
Because I also noticed they won't wear armor and shields. So that 2 is pretty much as good as it gets if they do that.
Yep.
So there's no -1 armor class Furblogs running around.
Unless they decide to wear cloaks of cloaks of protection.
Magical items.
Yeah, magical items, yeah.
NPC monks.
Yeah.
See that.
Also another advantage they have.
A Furblog monk? That would be great.
No, actually it wouldn't.
With
that's power gaming.
Dual-wielding iron clubs.
Stop it.
It would be funnier in hell, though. I'd love it.
It'd be funny, but yeah. Okay. Another advantage they have, they can actually deflect incoming missiles on a roll of 6 or better on a 20.
Nice.
Now, that's one of the things where I could see like a tribe of Furblogs and a tribe of hill giants just constantly duking it out, because they have these kind of abilities. But
the Hatfields, McCoys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Except the Hatfields are actually smart. They can actually catch the missiles with a -2 penalty on that check.
You see, as we're traveling down this here caravan road, you got to watch out down here at the Mile Marker 5. Over on the left, you got the Furbolgs who think they're playing baseball, and over on the right, you got the giant kin over here who think they're playing rugby. And between the two of you, you're going to get thrown some rocks at. You see?
Wow. Unbelievable.
And if you hear a quack, you might want to duck.
Wow. Okay. As of course, they take damages large creatures, and of course, Furbolg fighters have to earn double. Furbolg shamans have to earn triple experience, as was said. Furbolg shamans actually are able to cast illusions, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually get from 1st to 5th level. At each level, they get 2 first level spells. So by the time they reach 5th, they have 10 illusion spells they can use.
Nice.
Then they start receiving 2nd level spells. It's sort of like with 2nd edition dragons when they get spells. As they go up in age category, they get more spells and higher level spells. It's pretty much the same idea.
It isn't just fighters that have to do double. It's any base class to advance. So that Thief 10 lurking down there also has to do double XP. It's not like they're racially propensity to being thieves. It's just harder to be shamans because that specifically takes triple.
Yeah. I can't even imagine playing a character that requires that. Okay.
Let's go on to their cousins, the Vodkin.
The Vodkin, yes.
The forest-dwelling giants with the odd heads.
The odd-looking heads with the ears, and they're really good archers.
I hate the picture of the monstrous manual, by the way.
My correction, I was looking at the Vodkin class list anyway. That's where the thief came from. Correction, edit self.
Strike that, reverse that, thank you.
You go, boy.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have Furbolg thieves.
Just because.
Yes.
Just because you said it. Okay.
Hiding in shadows, backstab,
yep.
10-foot club.
Yeah, exactly.
How big are their thieves' tools?
Yeah.
I can't pick this thing. It's too small.
Wow. Vodkin, as we were saying, they're actually one of the more interesting races to play because you have a lot of class variants as opposed to like the Furbolgs and the Ogres. Can be 11th levels a fighter or a ranger, 8th levels a mage, 7th level is a shaman, 10th level is a thief.
Right.
And their stat scores can max out at 18 strength, 19 dex, 16 con, 17 intelligence, 16 wisdom, 18 charisma.
And they got pluses and minus to that, too.
Yes, plus 1 bonus to strength, plus 2 to dex, minus 1 to con, minus 2 to wisdom.
And no percentile strength.
Really? I did not know that.
Special disadvantage, they do get no attack bonuses for high strength.
I'd take that away right away. There's no reason for that. Especially since, go ahead.
And get this, Vodkin warriors use the Paladin XP table.
That's not so bad. That's 2250 as opposed to 2000. 2250 for luck. But you know what? That can be a disadvantage when it comes to like the thief class or the shaman class.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's not quite so bad. The funny part is that if you use the Paladin XP table, actually you advance faster as a mage.
It's not for all their classes. That's Vodkin warriors. That's just the warriors.
Oh yeah, that's correct. God, we're just all over the place tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's correct. He's correct.
Yeah, that's what I said. Warriors.
Did you?
Yeah, I said Vodkin warriors.
Okay, then it's me talking out my ass. Okay. Moving along.
You're so talented.
Yeah, I know. I just hold this show up with my pinky. Anyway.
And they also are 90% resistant to sleep and charm spells.
Mm-hmm. Like elves, yes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They get 7 bonus hit points at first level and natural AC of 8.
So if you ever wanted to play a really big elf, this is
exactly. With different colored skin, because their skin tone varies.
Their name's weird and a big head.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they all bald?
They don't say anything about it. Let's see. Large heads compared to their bodies. No facial or body hair, so no.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Yeah, they like to blend in.
Yep, and yeah, they're usually on good terms. The good aligned ones are on good terms with elven races, especially wood elves, things like that.
Yeah, they're colored that way for good camouflage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now they even say that there are Vodkin with druid powers, which is kind of weird because there's nothing saying anything about it in the class restrictions. Mm-hmm. I think that was a bit of an oversight. Now, they even say that druids are never found in the same community with shamans. Who cares? They're, frivolous and flighty by nature. You have a fineness for finely cut gems and well-crafted magic items. Yeah, more or less elves.
Yeah. Elves with giant disads.
Yes, exactly. They can also, at 7th level, polymorph into any humanoid creature from 3 to 15 feet in height.
Yeah, how tall are they, by the way?
They average 9.5.
Okay.
9.5 feet tall, about 700 pounds.
So they could like disguise themselves as a furblog if they wanted.
Yeah, they could.
Okay.
They could. They could disguise themselves as halflings if they wanted to.
That's
Gnomes
right.
even.
Yeah.
They get the advantage in forests that elves also have. They inflict a -4 penalty on opponents' surprise rolls.
Right. But they do register as large creatures when you're fighting.
Yes, they do.
Unfortunately.
Yes, they do. The majority of them are archers because their favorite weapon is the huge longbow.
I would like to see somebody play one of those just to see how freaking big the arrows are.
I'd say the arrows.
DA damage.
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming along, and all of a sudden, somebody fires an arrow into the tree right in front of you, right next to you, the size of a freaking telephone pole. No.
Wrong, Giants. These are only 9.5 feet tall. I'm the one who shoots redwood arrows at people. That's an entirely different beast.
All right. Say one the size of a 10-foot pole. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would say that's at least half again the size of a regular arrow, if not bigger, if not twice as big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get a +1 bonus to attack, 50% increase in range, and the large size arrows do 1d8 damage base.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably have, if you had and that's for a Vodkin flight arrow. If you had a Vodkin broadhead arrow, I could easily justify doing a D10 damage.
D10, yeah. Yeah, just go up to the next die, D10, yeah.
Right.
And Vodkin must be at full size to use this special bow of theirs. Something to keep in mind culturally for them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the fact that, they like to be rangers. Yeah, they love to eat. They are all about their sacks of nuts and seeds and munching on vegetables, so they're sitting there chewing like the rednecks, dip, whatever. But they don't eat. The entire point of them having this racial fetish bow is not to hunt, not to bring down game. It's to kill a mofo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So keep that in mind when dealing with the psyche of the Voidkin.
I had the image of this Vodkin in bib overalls tending a
you were going in the same place I was,
tending a still in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I'm sure they would be.
Elven Vodkin moonshine.
I was thinking more along the lines of frickin' Deliverance.
Oh gosh,
that's where I was going.
Not too,
man,
too far.
Yeah, I know, and they're too smart for that anyway. I know.
Yeah, I could see them making like Vodkin ale or Vodkin wine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just completely just knocks any lesser being, just on his butt because it's so strong.
Right.
Yeah. You could clean you could acid wash people's armor with it. Yeah, I could see that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh joy. Okay, those are the PC Giants.
Correct.
And Friends. So tell us about it at thacoshammer@gmail.com. I'm sure you have. I mean, I played Half Ogres before. Brian's played Half Ogres. I'm sure there's Vodkin and Verblog players out there.
Full on actually plays a Half Ogre to this day.
Two of them.
Together?
One mage, one fighter.
Oh boy.
Caramon and Raceland of Half Ogres?
No, not together.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
They have really, really different motivations.
I would think so.
Let's move on to Rule 0.
One would think you've been doing this all your life.
We'll remember you said that.
I know. I'm sure you hate me just enough.
Rule 0.
Rule 0, guests at the table. No, I don't mean senile Uncle Carl who won't move away so we can play, but we're talking about non-players who want to watch, say, your wife or girlfriend. That's okay, I'll just let you play, I'm going to look.
Yeah, I'll just sit and watch.
Yeah. I mean,
and then, go ahead.
No, I've had good experiences with that. I've had bad experience with that.
Mm-hmm. Usually what ends up happening is that they get, if they have any sort of imagination, and I know I'm being I'm rather tongue-in-cheek when I say that, but those who have any sort of imagination, they end up being players by, at the very least, the end, by next session, if not the end of the night. Because, I want to play. This sounds like fun. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
say if I had all the guys, my Saturday game, I'd say if I had the guys over here, which they will come eventually because I have space to play.
Yeah, well, there's a problem with that.
Not really, but it's just like, you know how groups get, when it's like, why do I have to go anywhere else? We're right here, and we got a nice table. Instead, they don't want to move.
Mm-hmm. So, they get kind of lazy like that.
Yeah, these guys are not like that. I mean, if I invite them over to DM a game, they'll probably come. But Becky would be in the other room watching TV or reading a book or working on her laptop or something like that. It doesn't bother her at all. She's not involved, and she'll probably never become a player. But, if she wants to sit and watch, I would have no problem because that's what she'd do, watch.
Yeah. You would make sure of that, I am sure.
I had invited her wholeheartedly, but she did that one time, and she said, you can play, I'm not interested. And I just, okay, fine. If you're interested, you will let me know.
Yeah, if you become interested, let me know. Yes. I got a game for you, sweetheart.
I'm not going to force that on you, so don't worry about a thing. But, people who bring their girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, I've seen really good and really bad examples of that,
okay.
Yes, arm candy does not belong at the game table.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Especially if she has no imagination herself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I want
herself or his self, either way.
Yeah. Let's not discriminate.
Well, we won't be that way.
I have encountered that as well. So.
Yeah, I'm usually not the one doing it. I'm the one observing it.
Mm-hmm. You're just grinding your teeth the whole time.
I'm not going to bring up my first ex-wife again because she turned out to be a player. And there was only a few times that she didn't play, and she was there just to hang out and watch. But the thing that drove me crazy about her was she wanted to play, but she also wanted to socialize, which I don't mind a certain amount of socialization because, hey, this is a social game. That's the whole
Yes, it is. Yeah, but at some point you have to get to the game.
Yeah, you got to get to the game. We can't spend the time on a 2.5-hour potluck and sitting around.
Oh, you mean an MMO chat room. Got it. MMO general chat. Yes, it's not that. Let's actually be productive.
I mean, she would do stuff like, oh, yeah, everybody bring something. Okay, we bring something. And she just wants to sit down and talk afterward and stuff like that. So, okay, let's game. And it's like, do we have to? We're talking here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we did not assemble for any other purpose than to game.
I don't mind doing that if we're going to do that.
Right.
And, and if this happens maybe once or twice with the game, but every time.
Yeah, that's something of a problem.
I got to get my rocks off too. I mean, game.
So to speak.
And the vodka can throw some.
Wow. People have had. I've been pretty lucky in that regard. I've had the minimum amount to deal with that. As far as other people goes, I had this one couple that came and the guy played, and the woman was really resentful because the spotlight wasn't on her, and she wasn't even playing.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen that personally, and it's look. I mean, let's put it this way. when I was playing back in the early 90s, I think I was the third oldest in my gaming group at, oh God, how old was I? 23. And most of the players were kids either in high school or getting out of high school, from like 14 to like 17 or 18.
Right.
And, it's one of these things where I'm already at the age, and a couple of my friends are already at the age, it's like, look, we got jobs. We got to get up in the morning. Yeah. Let's stop pussyfooting around and let's play. Right. No, this isn't about you trying to work up the nerve and trying to get up the gumption and hoping that your testicles drop enough for you to go and talk to this girl that you really like in your history class. No, This is not the place for that. Right. Let's get on with this. My time is valuable.
Well, this aforementioned couple, I mean, yes. It would have been okay if he was a player, but he was the DM.
Oh God.
Honey, will you get me a drink? Honey, how long are we going to be here? Honey.
I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, but unfortunately, when I first met Allison, before we had a relationship together, that was her mother. Because we played in her house, and her mother was disabled. To be fair about her mother was disabled, but it was like every 15 minutes, almost on the dot. Allison, can you help me with this? Can you get me this? Can you get me that? And I would just I'd be sitting across from Allison at the table, and I would just be watching her face just slowly turn a little bit more red, and just the resigned side getting a little bit heavier, a little more forceful. And it's sort of like, okay, if her mother says Niagara Falls, I'm going home. Because that's what it was going toward.
Okay, not to make this a bitch fest, but one incident remains in my mind, because this one woman who would play with us, she would be a player, but a lot of times she was a watcher. We were all set up. My buddy was set up. We were going to play some D&D, and this woman who was handicapped. I forget what she had, but she got around on crutches or a walk, a cane.
Oh, cane, okay.
And we were going to go pick her up. Well, it turns out she was moving the next weekend. She just got her apartment. I need to go over here and pay this. Okay, I dropped her over there. She gets in the car. Okay, I got to go get the key to my apartment. Okay, we go get the key to my apartment. Okay, I got to go see my apartment. We go and see, isn't this wonderful, blah, 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 blah. And by the time we got back to our place, okay, Andy, get ready, let's go. You ready? Oh, I'm kind of tired. I just want to go home. Can you take me home?
Yeah, you become the unofficial chauffeur.
And I was
I've
pissed.
seen that too.
I was upset. The players were upset, and Andy was upset.
Okay.
Because she not only co-opted me. Okay, fine, she co-opted me, but she just ruined the rest of the game for all the other players too.
Right. And that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's why it's sort of at some point it's you just have to, you're a judge presiding over a case, order in the court, let's get to the game,
So let's get a little bit of, now that the ranting is done, let's talk seriously about the subject.
Okay.
When you have guests at the table,
yes,
they come in various flavors. There is the people who own the house,
right?
Yeah,
who may or may not have a spectator who wanders in and stares at you. This is to be tolerated.
Yes, tolerated. Yes.
Are we talking about what age of spectators?
Whatever. You weren't specific. Non-players. Okay. Not non-player characters, just non-players. Now, this could be kids. This could be adults.
Okay.
This could be extended family members. This could be spouses.
Right.
If they are quietly checking out what's going on or wandering in every once in a while to see what the weird huzzah was, cool. It's tolerable. Deal with it. If they ask constructive questions and they can take a short answer back and don't derail the game just like any other tangent, cool. Contribute to their information gathering and their greater education.
Right. Because they're curious at least.
If you're finding yourself to be the battlefield of wills between subject who lives in the house A who wants to play with you and subject who lives in the house B who wants their subject A back, you are going to have a bad night.
I have a problem there.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. That's not cool.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
And there's only one way to solve that is don't game it that
I'm having my night in, you're having your night out. Go find something else. Here's some money, go to a movie. Here's some money, go to dinner. Here's another thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to be a participant, don't be part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me, go see if your mother's calling you.
Yeah, I'm sure, Glenn, that you kind of had that issue.
There's a reason that there are 2 cards in Edition Wards that are powerful in and of themselves, but dominatingly bad when played together. And that is the phone call from the significant other and the text message from the significant other. Both of which cause play to stop and can involve loss of players. Which are the resource you're trying to gather in the game. So just like your actual game that you're sitting down to, you can suffer those things, and many groups have.
Okay, but let's get down to cases here. The bottom line is, if you're the person who is suffering this other person, like you're involved with them, like fiance, girlfriend, wife, mother, whatever.
Right.
If you're doing a game, especially if it's at your house, make it clear to the other person, when I'm playing, I'm playing. I don't mind dealing with you like peripherally and stuff. Honey, could you help me with this once in a while? Or just watch. If you want to watch, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to play the game.
Right.
Now, if you're the
DM, I'd be playing it till 6 a.m.
Yeah. And you got to come up with a compromise of realistic expectations too. Okay, I'm going to be playing. How long are you going to be playing? Oh, about 4 or 6 hours, or all night, or whatever. You tell them. But if you're the DM and you're not playing at your house, then you have to tell the group. Okay, this is how it's going to be. When we play, we play. This is what I will tolerate. You draw the line in the sand.
Yeah, at some point you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Because they're just, and we're kind of guilty of it in our AP game sometimes. We just get on a tangent about something, and 10 minutes will go by where we're just talking about nothing but that. But you know what? I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with, something coming up and, hey, this reminds me of that, or have you heard about this, or something like that. But at some point, it's like, okay, let's play.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, I'm getting back on topic now. What I'm saying is you deal with other people, friends, significant others, other people who want to watch or in the same room or whatever. You've got, as a DM, that's part of laying it all out, all that other stuff. By the way, other people are welcome in, but you got to lay it out at the beginning or when new people come in too.
Yeah, it's like, sure, if you want to watch,
you're not being hard nosed about it or anything like that. It's just
You don't want to be specifically dickish about it because you are still representing the game, you're representing the hobby, and you have the very, very slim chance of actually recruiting a tangible, passable player out of it. If they happen to be puked in their interest.
Yeah. Did you say puked or peaked?
Peaked.
Okay.
Their interest is peaked.
But
that's better.
You get my point, and you're not trying to be hard-nosed because you probably go through this yourself and you understand. But you got to have some kind of understanding about that.
No, I agree. I agree totally. And it's also
lay it out up front. That's what
it's sort of like let's not if you want to sit and watch, sit and watch, sure. If you got a question about the game, ask a question. We'll take a couple minutes and answer your question, sure.
Even if you want to play, here's some dice, here's a pre-gen, come on in,
have at it.
Watch out for is sometimes you encounter that significant other who's coming along to ensure that their significant other is not down in the bar picking up another significant other. This is exactly what they do for their guys' night out, girls' night out, is sit around a table, throw some dice, and move miniatures around. Some people don't get that.
To them,
and once they have gotten that inkling of the self-security, either they need to go find something else to do and just trust this person to have their game night out, or sometimes we had to determine, look, we're gaming 3 nights a weekend. Sometimes we have to go back to 1 night a weekend, so you can have that other night of the weekend to actually go out and do your go-out things.
I have to coordinate my schedule for gaming very carefully, so I give Becky enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's why
it's children or just by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you said. You got to lay it out, and what Full-On said.
Be willing to share.
Be willing to share.
It's
yes.
nice to share.
I mean, I'm
glad you got that.
Yes. I've told people who, like significant others who don't care for me to game or whatever. So I just told them, look, I'm not going to a strip club. I'm not going to do drugs. Think of it as if I wasn't interested in gaming, this is my poker night.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's big D&D at its.
Oh wait, I'm not losing any money.
Exactly.
I'm just getting a collection of books.
Yeah.
And miniatures.
And other rule books and other miniatures.
Yeah. Into non-gamer persons like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you basically have to say to them, look, it's like everybody, it's like a bunch of guys just getting around a table and playing poker all night, except the game is different. That's all it is.
Okay. I think we've done spinning donuts around this topic. I think we're restating the same thing now all the time.
Yeah.
So, if you guys got any ideas about that, THACOshammer@gmail.com.
Yeah, or tell us your stories. We want to hear them.
Yeah, those are fun. I've got one I haven't even let out yet. I'll do that after the show.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. But let's go on to Loaded for Bear.
Correct.
Bet you don't have a pair of these, Earthling.
And for the big critters, sometimes you got to bring out the nuclear weaponry.
Loaded for Bear.
Loaded for Bear. I knew that, and he didn't even put the title down there. How about that? Giant-sized weapons.
I didn't put the title down, really?
Not on the show notes, but...
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm the host. I'm smart. I figured...
I be smart.
Be smart. I got 6th grade education. I know my knots real good in gazintas. Anyway... Giant-sized weapons. Now, going off a Dragon article here?
Yeah, this is a Dragon article from issue 109, so it's still in the 1E era.
Who wrote the doggone thing?
This was written by Stephen Martin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Martin?
No.
And crazy guys with great big axes.
Waiting for that to come.
Okay. Anyway. Basically what he did is like in the Monster Manual and the Fiend Folio, how giant types do the same amount of damage no matter what weapon they use. And he said, you know what? I want to do this a little differently. So he came up with this nice little table that for human scale weapons that do a certain amount of damage, and the size of the creature using a weapon, the similar weapon of giant size, it does this damage.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a nice little chart here, and even gives groups of now this, of course, this is mostly 1E stats, but you can easily extrapolate it into 2E stats.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Group A, Group A's through F, with Group F being storm giant size.
I thought that was F for freaking huge.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, they even have the Verbeegs, the Cyclopskin, the Ogres, and things like that on the A column, and just a little guideline of, what the creature size should be. Like, Group A is like between 7.5 and 9 feet tall, and the weight being between 340 and 690. So, if somebody decided that they wanted to recreate Wolfgar or another character that's 90 inches tall or taller, you could actually use bigger weapons if you wanted to.
Like Ludo.
Yeah. Or or what was Andre the Giant's name in The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah, Physic.
Thank you, Physic. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes.
Use dividing groups.
I am the Dwight Pilot Woman. Oh, God, I gotta stop. Yeah,
I don't even have to exercise. Anybody want a peanut?
And I am here, my assholes.
Or my favorite, everybody move!
Oh, may he rest in peace. He was
Yes.
such a wonderful man.
Anyway.
I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad.
So yeah, I mean, let's take a longsword. Now, a longsword, of course, does 1d8 damage to normal-sized creatures.
Yes.
Now, using this chart, if a frost giant was using a longsword, it's a Group D creature, it would do 2 to 20 points of damage. And that's before their strength bonus. That's just the damage that the weapon itself would inflict. You know?
Hells yeah.
Yeah, This, to me, I think they took this chart, I just thought about this, I think they took some of the results in this chart and they applied it when they went to 2nd edition.
Uh-huh.
Because, as we all know, the Giants in 2nd edition got not only the hit dice upgrade, which fed into the THACO upgrade, but also they did more damage. So,
Lots more damage.
Lots more, yeah. Yeah, where a group of, say, 4 hill giants could easily take down a mid-level party if the mid-level party's unlucky in their die rolls.
Or incredibly stupid.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, we can never underestimate the power of stupidity. That is true.
There is no stupid without Psy. Sorry. Back.
Like a storm giant wielding a storm giant scaled 2-handed sword against a gargantuan dragon.
Yow.
8 to 64 damage. Yeah.
Booyah.
Yeah. Get those 8d8 and roll them out, and then add his strength bonus, which is plus 12.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a nice little chart for those who want to, use a little bit more. I shudder to say realism, but it's the only word that fits.
Common sense.
Yeah, common sense. Yeah, you could have like a character, not character, let's say a frost giant wielding a mace. Now, a footman's mace does 2 to 7, and that's in Group D, so that would do 2 to 20.
How about a giant cannon mace?
Well,
yeah,
that'd be like a.
That's an area effect attack, like a dragon's breath. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you're blinded and suffer nasty
cough, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
so it goes all the way up through most of the weapons in D&D, from 1 point of damage. Like say using a whip against a large creature, going all the way. A shuriken, yeah, a neat
giant
shuriken.
Size shuriken.
We got him going. Oh boy.
Also known as some of those crazy things that, the yo-yo frisbee saws of death from Octopussy. They just go
Octopussy, or Kill Bill for that matter.
I was thinking
or heck, Wild Wild West.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yes, they did.
I was thinking more of the simple giant-sized bullwhip.
Yeah, that would be in here because a whip does only 1 to 2 for small and 1 point against large.
And in a tank, 20.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you take 2 to 5 points of damage. You'd have to make a dex check with major penalties. Yeah, right. A storm giant wielding a whip.
My gosh,
that's kind of funny.
It is.
I like that idea.
Ask Gandalf how that worked out for him.
Oh.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Balrog and his whip.
Yeah, with fire damage on top of it. Yes.
Ow.
Yeah. Fly, you fools. Anyway, that was probably one of the better fights in the Two Towers, but I digress.
That was. Oh yeah, you're right. The Two Towers. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the beginning of Two Towers.
That's right.
They also give a nice little chart at the bottom. They give another chart for hurled boulders. They give
rock on.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's time to rock out. They even say in another thing about tactics and exceptions about Ogre Magi learning to use martial arts weapons with weapon catch and weapon breaker maneuvers. Can you imagine that?
Oh boy!
I give a penalty to the save because your weapon's being basically attacked by a much larger version of another weapon that can do it. You've got, it even has like a little bit of a chart for non-standard boulders. For the weight of the boulder, how much damage bonus it'll do, but there's a range penalty, things like that. It's a nice little it's a nice little chart, I have to admit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Definitely. And it's 1E, who cares?
It's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, in the end, 1E and 2E are very interchangeable.
Very simpatico.
Yes, exactly.
We do 1E supplements once in a while if it applies.
Yeah. Last one we did was Hall of Heroes.
That's right.
Yep. So yeah.
That's right. You guys got any tips about giant weapons? Talk to us at THACOShammer@gmail.com. Let's get into getting out of Dodge.
This is it. This is what? If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
Getting out of Dodge.
Getting out of Dodge. Okay, Giant Craft, TSR 9487. It's a splat book. It's a Forgotten Realms splat book.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
All the best ones are.
Oh, I'd argue with that, but
I can't find much fault in that statement, really. I mean, the basic stuff, if you want the quality stuff, go for this. Something like that stuff. Anyway, and it was published when?
1995.
Yeah, in the thick of it.
Yep, right in the middle. Designed by Ray Winninger.
Yeah.
Karen Boomgarden did the editing. Okay. Jeff Easley did the cover. With special thanks to Jeff Grubb, Troy Denning, Julia Martin, William W. Connors. Like you keep saying, Glenn, the usual gang of idiots.
Yeah, you are correct. So right, which doesn't mean they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all about giants in the realms, right?
Mm-hmm. And it can be extrapolated out to giants in general.
Okay. And it's got the usuals. Does it have giant kits or things like that? Or give me the
no, not really.
Well, as you can tell, I don't have this book.
Okay. First thing that they have is Anam's Legacy, which is sort of like how the giants came to be. Anam's, who's like the father of all giants, apparently.
The mythology of the giants.
Correct. And there's a lot of, as you might suspect, there's a lot of Norse influence on this. Yeah, there is a ton of it. Then they go.
Giants were at war with Dragonkind.
Yes.
They lost.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They got their asses kicked. But with the Giant Craft, there's also the nature of Dragonkind. They go from the greatest giants, who are the Titans, all the way down to the least giants, which are the ogres, believe it or not. Even the giant kin are like one step above them. So then, of course, they also give you nice little ideas as a DM about, the myths of Dragonkind and, like the first myth. Giants are not properly classified as individual race like humans, dwarves, and orcs. No, that's not true. Yeah, they basically have their own history and all of that. Right. The second one, giants are stupid. Hill giants are stupid.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a couple
Ettins
other
are pretty dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, Ettins are very stupid, as a matter of fact.
Two heads with half a brain each.
Half a brain to split between them. Quarter brain. But, most giants are at the very least average intelligence. Of course, the more powerful the giant is, usually the smarter they are. And it's just little tips for the DM just to say, well, you're up against like a bunch of fire giants. Oh, let's see. high to average intelligence, lawful evil alignment. No, they're not just going to blindly charge you. They're going to stay at range, pick up these big 300, 400-pound rocks, and throw them at you.
That's right.
To soften you up before they close in to kill you. Let's see, like they even say stone giants can be either kind of stupid or smart. It's completely random. Cloud giants are usually smart. Storm giants, of course, are usually brilliant. Their range is like 10 to 20. So, yeah. So, giants are evil's another myth. And some of them are. Some of them aren't. And
I noticed like a lot of creatures that the more intelligent the giant gets, the less he wants to do with human and demi-humankind.
More or less, yeah. Yeah, they've got their own society, their own concerns, and they actually go into some of this in this book. There's a code of behavior called Ma'at. I think that's how it's called.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of a code of behavior for giants. Now, this can vary widely depending on the type of giant you're dealing with, but, it has something, it's interesting because it gives an added dimension that I think giants have been needing for a very long time.
What's that?
It just sort of...
the filling out the giants, yeah.
Correct. Like, they're just not just these huge people that, that you're there to just, fight and defeat upon pain of death.
Their stories needed more reach.
A lot.
The roots of their family tree dig deep.
Yeah, very.
I have a feeling that new movie that has not come out as of this podcast, Jack the Giant Killer,
it's
probably going to go a long way in developing that kind of thing too.
Yeah, even though it's the whole Jack and the Beanstalk story
elaborated on.
Yeah, elaborated on, and the funny part is that that's where that fable in itself is where a lot of D&D magic items came from. Like the bag of beans, like the giant killer sword,
right.
The giant killer kit in the Complete Ranger's Handbook, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that.
I thought that was a Disney movie. 7 with 1 blow.
Nope, you are wrong. You are not correct.
Yeah, the fly swatter of slaying, yeah.
That's funny.
Do they have giant weapons in there?
I believe so. I'm going through it as we're talking because I didn't have enough time to study it in depth. But most of it is. I think most of it's just stuff to flesh it out. Of course, they got rune casting, which I was going to talk about, which is extremely important in giant society. Of course, like I said, there's a lot of Norse flavor in this supplement.
Right.
But as far as they even have there's the Vodkin right there. Look at that.
Verbolgs, Verbeegs, Vodkin, and Fomorians as player characters.
Yeah. And this came out after the Complete Book of Humanoids.
Wow.
Believe it or not. So I think it's a very similar.
And as those other books, it may say Forgotten Realms, but this is applicable to
anything. Yeah, just like when we did the Draconomicon, same exact thing.
I've noticed that any Forgotten Realms book is when you want to beef up something in your game, you grab one of those.
Even beef it up or just give it more flavor. Either one.
Right.
You've got all of your, got the deities, you've got Anim, who is the All-Father. He's the Odin of the giants.
Right.
And he strides the line between law and chaos. He's neutral.
Right.
And, it's got different, deities as opposed,
I wouldn't say he was neutral. I would say that, like Odin, he follows his own agenda.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, considering that this is very Norse colored, yeah, I would say so.
I mean, this follows many characters from Odin to Elminster to Blackstaff to to, anybody any ruler in the realms who tries to put their people, whatever people that may be, first, and try to push them in a direction they think is best for them.
No, I agree. Yeah, the Harpers go into that category for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and for those who aren't getting everything that we're talking about, you can get a slight sampling of it just by watching the Avengers movie and following Jontime.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Thor 2.
Movie.
Yeah, the Thor.
Yes, Thor movie.
Yeah.
That too.
With the Frost Giants, yeah.
Yeah.
Jotunheim.
Yep, Jotunheim, exactly. They give role-playing tips for playing giants. Giants are big, giants are loud. Where they're even urging the DM when the giant speaks to shout. It's just really, really funny. They even give an example, which is actually very interesting. Not interesting, but it's rather amusing, I should say. Giants, of course, being powerful beings, most of them are vain. So that can be actually exploited, just like back in the day with
Dragon.
Yeah, with dragons, exactly. Dragons are vain. You can appeal to their vanity. That might just save your life. Same thing with giants.
Yeah, bring him a nice suit and some, dinner or something. Well, what am I saying?
I'm not going to go into the things that can go wrong with appealing to a female giant's vanity. We're trying not to play blue here.
Oh, give
her a nice dress. Oh, it's you, honey.
No, there's another thing with giants. Now, most male giants are extremely ugly. We're talking the Hailstone, Fire, Frost.
We're not talking about those storm giants who are all noble.
Storm giants are the storm giants are usually handsome people.
They're the best.
But even in going along with Norse legend, almost all the female giants are gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful, most of them. And of course that beauty hides more or less their true nature. That only comes out in their behavior and the way they do things.
Like most
women.
People.
You almost said it. Nice try, Glenn. We knew what you meant.
This reminds me of a Thor comic I read one time about his other brother.
Which one?
Another adopted brother, or one Odin father who was also half giant, like Loki.
Vidar?
Yeah,
I think his name was.
Yeah, he favored the giant half, and he was in Jotunheim, and he came to see the All-Father, and he ended up killing this one giant's mate for one reason or another, for something wrong, misunderstanding. And what got me was he was a half giant like Loki, but he favored the giant half, so he was rather large, right?
Right.
He was a full giant, and then they had the regular giant. So what got me was they got the sizes right.
Yes.
Because she was a full giant. You can tell she was half again as tall as he is, and you stand Thor against him, he's half again tall, and then she's half again. It's wow, they got they got the sizes right. It was cool.
Right, yeah. Thor was a huge person to begin with, 6'7", 6'8", something like that.
12 feet, and she was 15 to 16 feet.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, and. And using this supplement, getting back to it for a moment,
lead us back, so that's why I said.
Yeah, okay. No, that's okay. No big deal. But, that's one of the things they talk about in here. They even give, tales. This story of a female giant who a human fell in love with, and the female giant, more or less manipulated him into doing horrible things for her love and things like that.
Right.
But even in the back, now
it's called Giant Noir. With
Noir.
The femme fatale and everything. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You couldn't be more right. Towards the back, they also have the various types of what a giant dwelling would look like. Now, of course, you can refer to the venerable G1 through 3 Against the Giant supplement, for that. But in here, they go into a little bit more depth, like a hill giants would have like fortified camps with pit traps and, other things like that. Fire giants, of course, would, base their homes near volcanoes. Oh my God, that's an awesome picture. I'm just looking, while I'm going through this book, I actually went across a picture of an actual Etten.
Uh-huh.
And these two PCs are fighting against this Etten, and the one head, it looks like this handsome guy, and the other one is just this completely brutish looking dude. It's hilarious.
Wow.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, they have like a stone giant, lair and things like that. The frost giant glacier, of course, they're going to be, in. And even in this example, they have like, I think it's a white dragon. I think it's like either a young or an adult-sized white dragon chained. The frost giant chieftain has him as a pet.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And things like that. And it also goes as far as a cloud giant palace.
Wow.
Now, I never saw one of those until I opened up Return to Against the Giants, or whatever it's called, where they actually had it plotted out. But even here, I'm looking at the picture of a cloud palace, and they've got this thing growing out of a cloud in every direction, up, down, left, right. It's just kind of weird looking, but it's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
But with this, you can see, just kind of what you can, what kind of lair a hill giant or a frost giant or fire giant would live in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Sounds like a cool book.
Mm-hmm. And in the very back, they even have giant variants like ice spire ogres, like crotters, which are these huge yak-looking things. I think they're used more for food than anything else. But yeah, I mean, shadow hounds and fun stuff like this. This is a great supplement. I love it. This actually gives the DM some tools to mess with their players' heads.
Hey, Full On, are you familiar with this one?
Yeah. Actually, now that I've looked at it, I definitely have it sitting. It's one of the things that I stuck inside my Forgotten Realms boxes. But yeah, we have this because it has all the really good stuff. I like the runes and the rune casters.
Yes.
And always the extra little, the ice spire ogres and the other, settings and pieces and stuff like that are all useful bits. Mm-hmm. Any game master can flesh out their giant encounters and make them more than just walking piles of big hit points that hurt when they hit you.
Yes.
You can make a lot more out of this. Yes. You can make it interesting. You can make them allies. You can make them enemies. You can make them things to be manipulated, things that will be manipulating you.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
You can get
and
really
there
interesting scenarios.
I can kind of understand why, just my last point, this is just something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But between this and like the Draconomicon, which basically does the same thing for dragons.
Right.
I understand why they put the Forgotten Realms tag on it, because it's not like this was something created by Greenwood or anything like that, but I think they put the tag on these supplements just so they would sell better. But, these two books are so chock full of information and stuff just to throw a nice curveball, that, lands right at the knees of your PCs, and they're just looking at it like, huh? What? But I thought, what? Huh? But, that's what I mean. It's one of these things where it's almost setting neutral. Just the information.
You know what's funny? They did a splat book for 1E. I forget what it was called. It was about dragons and giants.
Oh, yeah, Bestiaria Dragons and Giants.
Dragons and Giants, which probably covered I haven't seen it either, but I heard it's like one of the worst splat books they ever did.
That was one of the early ones, I believe.
Yeah, but then they went back and split it in two and came out with these.
Mm-hmm. Well,
which sounds like they're like 100% better.
Yeah, to me they are. I mean, they go from just the very nature of giants all the way through to, okay, your players are planning a raid on let's say a fire giant steading. Okay, how are you guys going to handle that? It's built into the side of a volcano. Tell me about it.
Yep. So you guys, what do you think of the TSR 9487? Giantcraft, tell us what you think about it. THACOshammer@gmail.com. Time to close.
I rate this 7 out of 4.
There you go.
7 out of 4.
7 out of 4. Thus spoke full on. Well, I got to close the book. Close the splat book on this one. Okay. So next time we have something good planned for you. I hope.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Considering I'm in charge of this. Oh, by the way, we need to talk to Good Mike because I'm still kind of. I'm wondering if I should do it, but one of the green splat books is coming up for episode 63.
Yeah. And
we need him because he's our resident history expert, being a professor at college and all that. Yes, Good Mike.
Yes. Which one?
Charlemagne's Paladin, second one in the series.
Okay, I'm going to talk to him, and I'll talk to Julie too. Keep her in the dugout in case Mike can't make it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, well, time to go. Say goodnight, Brian, or goodbye, Brian.
Keep your head down because those rocks can pretty much knock it right off.
Cool, full on.
That's not all that'll knock something right off. Hey, be kind to your gentle giant ladies.
Oh, please. And this is DM Glenn saying we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye.
And don't forget your potion of diminution.
Yeah. Anyway, let me tell you.
Make her drink it.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.